My name is Shawn Rashid, and I drive for Douglas Motorsports.
Something I've learned speaking to racing drivers in GB3 and Formula 2 F3, stuff like that. They always talk about how there's quite a lot of uncertainty in this, like quite a lot out of your control regarding securing a seat if you have a seat, when how soon those deadlines are. Often it's like year by year contracts, particularly in junior stages. Is that something that's difficult to propose with the sports? There's a lot of uncertainty around future and where you're going to be, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think a part of the sport that a lot of people don't see as a race car driver is that almost half of it is being like a businessman. I mean, you have to be able, half the year you're going around, even before the season ends, you're already going around trying to market yourself, trying to talk to sponsors, gain sponsorship, find the money. Racing's such an expensive sport. Unless you're very fortunate and have family, friends that can support you the whole way through the top, a big part of it is the uncertainty of figuring out where you're going to be next season, where you're going to find the money. But you can't live in the uncertainty. You just kind of have to understand that's part of the sport, and it comes every year, so it's just part of the game.
You say something you've got to live with. Do you think there's any way of improving it, or do you think with the financial, how much it costs to run GB3 year by year, that's just something that's going to be in the sport forever? And obviously drivers have to find sponsors, stuff like that. Do you think that's the best way it can be? There's no other alternatives to make it perhaps easier for you guys?
Yeah, I think for right now, just because of how expensive the sport is, that's just kind of the way it is. I think feeder programs are really good. That can help, kids and people that don't have the money to even start. I think those are really good in helping out. But I think in general, the sport is just so expensive, and the sport's moved away a long time ago from drivers getting paid at this level to them paying. And I just don't think there's much incentive for the teams to change that.
And then finally, I just want to talk a bit about your journey so far. How's it been? Is it you talk about getting sponsorship, stuff like that, but how difficult has it been to get to this point in your career?
I've personally had to work really hard. My story is quite different from any other driver here. Most drivers, a lot of the guys I'm competing against have been doing this since they were 5, 6, 7, whatever, 8, karting all the way up till now. I didn't start this until about 2.5 years ago. I went to university, did my engineering degree, never karted, never did anything, and then just kind of synchronicities in my life led me to doing what I'm doing now, and I'm so super blessed to be doing. But it's been very, very difficult for me personally, especially now. Every step, last year I did Formula Ford, and learning all that stuff was difficult, catching up to guys that have been in the series for years and years and years, and now it's the same here. The competition in GB3 is insane. The guys are top notch. I'm sure some of these names will end up being at the top of the sport one day. So I'm just trying to catch up and do whatever I can to gain all the experience that these guys have been gaining over the past decade or more. So.